Hi guys, it's Rachel Guest here, your resident tough cookie, and today I'm going to show you how you're going to take all of this and turn it into this. Ooh, fancy. So when dealing with meal prep, I like to start with the thing that's going to take me the longest, and one of my favorite foods that I like to incorporate into all my meals, or as many as I can get them into, is something called butternut squash. Now, if you have a root vegetable or anything like this, potatoes, sweet potatoes, any kind of vegetable that's going to take a little bit longer in the oven to cook, that's what I would start prepping. So for me, I take butternut squash here, all of this and this sweet potato. I pour the butternut squash into a pan and I start cutting the sweet potato up, and I could put that in a 445, sorry, I'm learning how to read, 445 degree oven for about 45 minutes. Now I know that that's going to take the longest thing to cook, so that's what we're going to start with. So the next thing that I like to prepare, because I know it takes forever, but I like to make a lot of crock pot chicken. So I have this tiny little crock pot here that we're going to be using, and this takes normally about 4 to 5 hours. I have some chicken tenders here that we're going to pat dry, and then we're just going to use this fat-free balsamic vinaigrette from Trader Joe's. You can use any type of sauce or just olive oil if you want, that sticks within your dietary restrictions, or just something that you like. To be quite frank, I love barbecue sauce, but I can't have that right now. I'm trying to steer away from a lot of sugar. So this actually, I really enjoy. I just put the chicken tenders in here. After we pour a little bit of this at the base, I use a little bit of olive oil to put in the crock pot as well, just because I don't want the chicken to dry out too much. Just some salt, and I don't know if you guys have used this before, but this is something called 21 Seasoning Salute by Trader Joe's. I put this on everything. Trader Joe's isn't sponsoring this video. I just love that store. So anyway, so yeah, I will show you a quick video on how I do that. There is no levels to this crock pot. It's just an on and an off. So I'm sure if everyone out there has a more sophisticated crock pot, but I just shove everything in here and then let it sit for about 3 hours. Yeah, that's my type of cooking. So yeah, here we go. Ooh, interesting. So I don't know if you've been noticing, but the things that I've been making require little to no attention, plus they take a long amount of time. So the next thing that I like to do is my broccoli. I like to steam my broccoli. You can roast your broccoli, you can saute it, you can eat it raw. For me, I just like to steam it. I also have a steamer. If you don't have a steamer, you can always boil broccoli in water, but I do forewarn that when you boil any type of vegetable, a lot of the minerals and the vitamins that that vegetable has will seep out through the water. So I don't know if you've ever steamed or boiled artichokes, but if you notice that the water's super green after you've boiled artichokes in the water, that's basically all the vitamins and minerals kind of leaving the vegetable. So I like to steam my vegetables above the water. If you don't have this fancy pantsy steamer like I do, it's really easy. Get a big old pot of water. You can put a cauldron on top of it and something to throw over the cauldron so the steam doesn't seep out. I recommend using a metal colander, because if you use a plastic one, they will melt. So, and basically if you have, hold on, let me see if I can find it. If you have balls, I don't think, oh, here it is. If you have a big old pot, and normally they come in sets. This is what a metal colander looks like. It just sits right on top of a big pot. Or if you don't have any of those things, put a little bit of tiny water inside a big bowl and then microwave it for about 4 or 5 minutes, covered with saran wrap. You can see, like when you cook popcorn, how the bag inflates, that's all the steam popping the popcorn. It's the same thing if you were to steam vegetables inside of a microwave. Just put a little bit of water at the bottom, cover it with, well, put the vegetables in, cover it with saran wrap, and throw it in the microwave for about 4 to 5 minutes. If you're cooking your vegetables that way, do it in small batches. Don't do the entire bag at one time because you want to make sure you're cooking every single vegetable. Anyway, if you're lucky enough and fortunate enough to have a steamer, all I do is just throw these in there, walk away, and then I do the rest of my meal prep. So I'm gonna show you. It's really hard. So I just wanted to go over a quick recap of what we've been doing. We have our broccoli steaming, we have our crock-pot chicken cooking, and we have our wonderful butternut squash and sweet potatoes roasting in the oven. This whole time it's taking me probably about 15 minutes to set all that up and to have it cook. Now the next couple things we're going to be doing require my attention. They don't require a lot of my attention, but they're going to require me to stay in the kitchen and near any of the, sorry, that's my cat. It's going to require me to stay in the kitchen and near any of the things I will be cooking. We're lastly going to do chicken, cauliflower rice, and the rest of our vegetables, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're pretty much almost done with our meal prep. The only things that we have to do is cook the ground turkey, which is one of my proteins, and then assemble everything together. As you saw in the video before, we cooked all of our vegetables in one big old pot. I am not a chef, nor do I claim to be one. So when I meal prep, I use one pot. So if you are the same way, I highly recommend cooking your vegetables first. Why? I wouldn't want to cook vegetables after I've cooked chicken or any kind of poultry or meat in a pan. That way I have to make sure it cools down before I clean it. It's just another time-consuming thing. So I cook all of my vegetables in my big old pan before I move on to my ground turkey breast. Really, really simple. I just coat the pan with some type of coconut oil spray. You do not have to. I just do. If you buy ground turkey with a higher percentage of fat, completely fine if that's within your diet. Broccoli's done. I just need to use some kind of lubricant on this big old pan because ground turkey, especially 99% fat free, tends to be very dry, so I don't want it to stick to the pan. I also don't like to clean, so anything that helps that process along I will do. Oh, awesome. Butternut squash is done too. Perfect. See how everything's kind of coming together? I didn't even time it that way. So all I'm going to do is wipe out this pan because there's some vegetables still left. That's completely fine if you don't mind having some vegetables in your ground turkey. Life hack, these two things, these vegetables and the ground turkey, this and that will be in the same container, so I don't mind having vegetables in my ground turkey. It's all gonna end up in the same place anyway, plus it doesn't really affect the taste. The things that I like to put into my ground turkey, sorry there's a plane, salt, 21 seasoning salute, ground prep, see if I can say that, ground paprika, almost got through it, and black pepper as well. You can pretty much add whatever seasoning you like. You don't have to add salt. Salt's really not a big deal in my diet, but for some others it might be. Just make it taste great, something that you want to eat, not something that you think you're going to eat. So the things, I just got 2, how many ounces are these? Cool, I can read. I got 1.4 ounces of 99% fat-free ground turkey. I'm just gonna saute that up real quick, and then we're gonna move on to assembly. So yeah, oh, let's take some of the stuff out of the oven too. But notice how everything's kind of timing up? So it takes less time to do everything. I can do more than one thing at once. Life hack. Okay, let's do this. Our meal prep, and pretty much everything is almost done. I'm just waiting on my roasted vegetables, the butternut squash and the sweet potatoes, and my crock pot chicken, but that's gonna be a while, which is completely fine with me because I can always assemble everything in the meantime. So my ground turkey is now all nicely cooked. I roasted some chicken. I had a lot of chicken, so we're going to divide that into a few things. I've already portioned off my steamed broccoli into these containers, so I'm just gonna pretty much end up assembling everything. It's not gonna take very long. I'm also gonna show you how to make a salad, which you can probably fast forward through that if you don't know what it looks like opening up a bag and putting it into a container. We can watch that. But if you kind of know what kind of salads you like to eat, just fast forward to that. And then I'll show you the end product. A lot of the things you've probably already seen me eat before. There is 2 marathons coming up that I need to race. So a lot of my food's gonna look the same just to make sure that I'm getting the amount of nutrients and macronutrients that I need to be able to perform and run long distances. So not a whole lot's gonna be changing over the next few weeks, but afterwards, things might switch up. Also, I'm, again, not a chef, so a lot of the things, if I find out how to cook something, I'm going to cook it for the rest of the month. All right, so it's just kind of going to go like an assembly line. Pretty dope. All right, I'll see you on the other side. Oh, this is so interesting. I'm so hungry. So with that being said, we're pretty much done. I have all my beautiful meals right here. Oh, isn't that wonderful? It pretty much took me about an hour and a half. I was able to do a lot of things while this was happening. I was able to do laundry, feed the cats, clean the potty box, do a little bit of light cleaning. It's all about time management. I know that meal prepping and time management are things that should go together, but they always don't. So if you find time in your schedule, it doesn't really matter how much. You can cut up apples, vegetables, fruits, things you can grab instantly and take out. That's meal prepping. So give yourself a thumbs up for that. As always, remember to be tougher, be stronger, be better. And always be a tough cookie. Until we meet again, guys. Love ya. Thank you. Bye.